Tired. Over to you, Mr. Hlongwane.
Sanbono. I hope you can hear me. Pardon me the background noise. I'm in a noisy area. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are doing well. I am Tembeni Bright Hlongwane, the Secretary General of Youth in Business South Africa and Managing Director at Isimangaliso Group. I am a young entrepreneur, activist and public speaker, born and bred in Umlazi Kwabi. I've been in the entrepreneurship space for over 8 years now, and I pride myself as a young boy who challenged the status quo and dared to prosper. I have been tasked with sharing my views, opinions, and possible solutions I think will ensure that we create stronger economies through youth entrepreneurship. Ours at the Youth in Business South Africa is to ensure that young people build thriving and sustainable businesses that make a significant contribution to the economy of South Africa, which will make our economy strong and definitely create the much needed jobs. South Africa currently is facing triple major socioeconomic challenges, namely unemployment, poverty, and inequality. These challenges are deeply entrenched, and the youth in particular, Black youth, is vulnerable to these socioeconomic challenges. As part of the strategy to alleviate these socioeconomic challenges, the youth unemployment rate in South Africa averaged between 42 to 43% from 2019, reaching an all-time high of 43.40% in the first quarter of 2021. It is generally accepted that there is a high rate of youth unemployment in South Africa, and the most affected are Blacks. This will continue unless there is an effective implementation of transformative entrepreneur interventions in South Africa to address this problem. This is a serious problem in the country. Existing interventions have been introduced, but they seem to be yielding fewer results. Aggravating Black youth unemployment is due to largely poor implementation by the government's policies. There is a chronic youth unemployment in South Africa, and as I've said, Black youths are the most affected. Young people's engagement in entrepreneurship helps them achieve their economic independence and reduce their reliance on state welfare. Youth entrepreneurship brings about self-esteem and makes youth more productive members of their families and societies. Youth entrepreneurship brings about growth in the economy by providing employment. The employees and the business pay taxes, thus contributing to the government revenue. Entrepreneurship, including youth entrepreneurship, improves the general standard of society, which leads to political stability and national security. Youth entrepreneurship reduces crime, poverty, and income inequality. This indirectly induces an environment for a national and regional economic growth and development. The growing youth unemployment threatens economic and political stability, and countries with high youth demographics are even more at risk. Further, negative growth means decreasing work opportunities and the need for alternative means of job creation. Youth entrepreneurship can be part of the solution. Entrepreneurship and training are critical to develop the entrepreneurial mindset and the specific skills for business startups and development. But education and training cannot be disconnected from the wider entrepreneurship support system. A coordinated policy response is necessary to ensure the energy and drive of young people are best harnessed to meet the needs of the 21st century. One of the obstacles to the success of an enterprise or business or an entrepreneur is the lack of willingness to take risks. Fear of failure and embarrassment prevents people with ideas not to explore them and venture into the competitive stage. Many young entrepreneurs have become risk averse because of their social environment. Market issues and the demand for the product are also important factors that positively influence the new enterprise's growth. Thus, bad market conditions and market opportunities can be a constraint to youth entrepreneurial intention. One of the reasons why South Africa's youth are unwilling to get into entrepreneurship is lack of access to capital, lack of business skills, government support, risk, and weak market opportunities. The high rate of youth unemployment in South Africa is attributed to many socioeconomic factors, such as entrenched discrimination, mismatched skills, lack of interest in entrepreneurship, and so on. There is a need to start creating employment opportunities for the youth through entrepreneurial activity, because the problem of youth unemployment is frightening, and it seems the whole country is sitting on a keg of gunpowder which might explode any time. To avert this calamity, government must start rolling out a plan to create jobs immediately through government interventions, partnerships with the private sector, and request for assistance in the international community if needs be. For there to be a massive reduction in youth unemployment in South Africa, there should be a deliberate strategic stance of the government to do everything within its power to give full support to entrepreneurial activities. The entrepreneurship institutions in South Africa need to be more proactive to take youth's innovative entrepreneurial ideas to the next level by providing necessary skills, support, and expertise that will translate these ideas into reality, where sustainable businesses are created for the betterment of society. Youth should be encouraged to undergo skills training necessary to make them, or readily available to make them entrepreneurs. Companies should encourage their employees to provide advice and support to young people starting out in business, especially in mentoring capacities. How can that be achieved? By creating links between new entrepreneurs and established companies, which can bring multiple benefits. The value of support through advice, networks, and other relationships cannot be overestimated for a new entrepreneur. And in addition, business startups provide a boost to the local economy, increasing overall market size and potentially contributing to local and to contributing to supply and distribution chains in existing companies. Banks and microfinance institutions should partner with community organizations to improve young people's access to financing. Banks and even some finance institutions are unable or unwilling to reach vulnerable sectors of society excluded from finance, such as the disadvantaged youth. Organizations established to help these groups do not necessarily have the financial capacity to administer lending and borrowing functions. By working with local organizations that better understand the risk profile of young people, these financial institutions can be able to extend their services to new sections of society. Governments should also utilize the existing structures, such as chambers of commerce and other business networks, to support the development of youth entrepreneurship. Business environments or business networks can be valuable to businesses throughout their life cycle, but perhaps especially during the startup phase. Given the economic, social, and political structures already in place, governments should prioritize investment in youth entrepreneurship initiatives to tackle youth unemployment and reduce welfare costs. Targeting investment in youth entrepreneurship schemes term benefit, both in reducing unemployment and other welfare payments and in increasing tax revenue. Governments should also, youth entrepreneurship organizations should engage in community outreach and mobilizations to foster a culture and spirit of entrepreneurship. The awareness of the opportunities of entrepreneurship is low across the country. The organizations that specialize in supporting young entrepreneurs have a valuable role in playing and communicating the potential benefits of starting a business to wider audiences. The culture of dependency should be reduced through awareness campaigns by the government. Youths from historically disadvantaged communities should be informed that social grants will not last forever. Therefore, youth should take entrepreneurship as a career rather than depending on government for grants. Entrepreneurship should be encouraged, embedded in education from early formative years throughout secondary, and be part of the curriculum in all stages of education and all subjects. Cultural perceptions and acceptance of both entrepreneurship risk and entrepreneurship failure are considerable obstacles to building an entrepreneur. Have a role to play. Policy frames public opinion. Policymakers should consider how profiling of successful young entrepreneurs as role models and the use of social media could contribute to a more favorable entrepreneurship culture. Recognizing failure as a learning opportunity must be part of the policy message. In addition, a rethink of the teaching and learning processes in school is necessary to equip young people with the skills to manage failure and success, which are the particular challenges for today's entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurial mindset comprises a set of cognitive and behavioral traits, for example, opportunity seeking, risk management, and creative problem solving. On finance, government and lending institutions need to determine more viable options to finance young people's businesses, including reflection on the notion of a tolerable risk. Packaged support for young entrepreneurs should give particular attention to the success of loan repayments and business sustainability. Monitoring and evaluation will ensure more effective targeting and delivery of startup services to young people. Government departments, training providers, and the banking sector should work together to develop this better startup environment for budding entrepreneurs. The real benefits are derived when sectors work together to create the culture of entrepreneurship, with opportunities available to young people. One, for young people, it helps them achieve economic independence and make a valuable social contribution, and it raises their self-esteem. Secondly, for companies, it encourages the development of a dynamic small business sector, boosts demand in the local economy, and strengthens community involvement. For society, it reduces the costs associated with youth unemployment, helps spread prosperity, and reduces youth disfranchisement and social conflict. For governments, it can reduce welfare costs and increase tax revenue, and it provides opportunities to benefit from the talent, enthusiasm, and energy of the young people they serve. In conclusion, young people must take it upon themselves to embark on the economic revolution now. And it is not only enough to speak about economic freedom rhetorically, young people must start and run their own businesses. Also, young people must consume products manufactured by young people. Young people must wear clothes that are made by young people. And young people need to have at least a 50% share in all value chains. We are no longer the future, but the now. It's time we made our role in society clear and concise, and that role is to become active participants, not spectators. I implore you that when you want to satisfy a particular need, please consider making a youth-owned business your first choice. Youth unemployment presents a significant challenge, and future forecasts demonstrate the need for an immediate, robust, and coordinated response. Nothing for us without us. Ngiyabonga.
A very, very clear message there, Bright. Thank you so much for those words. Can I get by a show of hands, see how many people here that have registered businesses? Just by a show of hands. I just want to get an idea. Thank you. We're good. So there is a need to start inculcating a culture of aggressive entrepreneurship. As I was listening to Upright, I was thinking that entrepreneurship is very interesting. It's a lot like swimming. It's not theoretical. If I gave you a textbook today to say, learn how to swim, go and study the textbook for 3 years and come back and I chuck you in the ocean and say you must swim, I guarantee you one thing, you'd sink because it's not theoretical, it's practical. Upcoming on the program, we have Mr. Lebo Kunguluza, a financial technology pioneer, a digital strategist, and an inspirational speaker from the Dragon Investor on SA's, from the Dragon Investor Den, which is a TV program called The Breakthrough Entrepreneur. Over to you, Mr. Kunguluza.